Good morning, it's Jimmy again. Today we are in northern Colorado and it is a beautiful day. So here we are deep in the import section and we've got something interesting today. This is a 1994 Audi 90 Quattro and I believe it's the sport version. This was an interesting model in that it supplanted the prior Audi 80/90 here in the US. It was based on that platform. This is called the B4 platform and it had some significant changes from the earlier model, but essentially the same size. Eventually for 96, this ended up going away in favor of the Audi A4, which definitely revived Audi's fortunes here in the US. When this was introduced for 93, Audi was pretty much still deep in its unintended acceleration scam, whatever consequences. Not their scam. It was obviously the investigative program that kind of scammed the public and pretty much ruined Audi's reputation for quite a long time. But anyway, Audi came back with this. This is a solid looking car. They're strong. They're not the strongest things in the world engine-wise, but chassis-wise they are. So let's take a closer look. Like I said, this design came out in 93 in the US, lasted through 95, so only 3 years over here. In Europe it was a little longer, it came out a little earlier. We only got the four-door sedan, and the Audi Cabriolet was based on this also. In the US though, in Europe there was also a station wagon, which is very popular, and quite a lot of different engine choices, including the turbocharged 5-cylinder, making this an Audi S2, which is pretty rare in sedan form, but did exist. The S2, obviously, the coupe was the big thing. The RS2 was the wagon version, which was the super duper one, and really started Audi's very high performance image. So let's take a look. This is obviously very streamlined, as has been Audi's trademark for quite a long time now. Lots of flush glass. This little pillar thing on the bottom of the roof has been a long time Audi hallmark. It's pretty much always been there. I guess it's not there anymore, but I guess, you know what, this is probably towards the end of when they stopped doing this. But I kind of like this. It dates back quite a ways. Big flush fitting taillights that wrap all the way around and pretty much make an uninterrupted colored band around the back, which is nice. Bumpers are all body color, fitted nicely, even though they stick out here for the US versions. The European ones are much more flush. They're pretty well integrated and don't look bad at all. This has the nicer, larger, I believe these are 15-inch wheels, kind of the sport version. Not quite the same as was on the top dog Audi S4, based on the bigger chassis, but similar and nice looking. Had this very subtle character line that went along the whole flank here. Very nice. Flush fitting handles. Like I said, the flush glass. This is for the remote control, the clicker to open the doors. Back then, they still had narrow rub strips with the old style Audi logo here on the side, which I think might be making a comeback. But this dates back to the 60s, 70s, and was phased out not long after this, actually. This front bumper is a cool design. A lot of the older Audi coupes, the 9091, for example, are upgraded to this design. This is called, generally, colloquially, the RS2 design with the wraparound front grille, sort of Mercedes style. You have these big integrated bumpers, headlight washers in this case, 2 sprayers, very nice. Glass headlights. Yeah, not bad at all. And then obviously the famous Audi 4 rings here, which represent the 4 marks that became Audi. And this one has the Quattro badge because it is a Quattro, which is full-time all-wheel drive in Audi speak. Very, very cool. So where do we start? Well, I guess let's look under the hood. These, were generally designed as front-wheel drive chassis cars, but interesting with a longitudinally mounted engine and transmission. So yeah, it was all straight ahead, and then the drive shafts for the front drives came out the left and right. Very far forward, ahead of the front axle line, so made Audi's a little bit on the nose-heavy side, but handling could be, they could handle quite well if you knew what you were doing. And you can definitely get the tail out on these things, the Quattros, that's for sure. 50-50 front-rear split on the Quattro, and obviously, 100% front, 0 rear on the front-wheel drive models. But this is a Quattro, so that's what we'll talk about. V6, 2.8 liter, 172 horsepower, I believe, in this spec. which is all right. Up here at altitude or elevation, whatever, it's, well, when they switched the Audi A4 with the turbo 4-cylinder, that made a big difference. These are nice cruisers. They're smooth, comfortable, and attractive. So, yeah, I mean, look at that. You've got full sound deadening here, which is nice. You've got double springs. This is good. These were built in Germany, obviously, Ingolstadt, the headquarters, and this one's remarkably complete. So very, very cool. But yeah, just a V6, and this engine ended up being used further on. Basically, the A4 got this engine also, so did the A6. They used it for quite a while. At some point, it got a 30 valve head, but this is just a 12 valve head, so 2 valves per cylinder. Independent front suspension and rear, obviously. It's kind of nice. Let's take a look at the trunk. The trunk, this one had a spoiler on it, so that's why I think it was a sport version along with the wheels. Kind of a short trunk, right? Not huge there. You have a backlight or rear windscreen that slopes quite a bit, and then a relatively stubby trunk or trunk lid. Kind of evocative or similar to what's happening these days with cars. That's interesting. This hinge design, the trunk lid just goes all the way past vertical, so it just stays up by itself there, even though it does have the struts, which is handy. You got a pretty big trunk. This is one of the main areas that was redesigned for this chassis, so the rear seats could actually fold down. The gas tank is now underneath. Previously, I believe it was behind the rear seat, so that's what precluded that. And I believe this also let them change the rear axle and how all that worked. Spare tires underneath here. Got a nicely finished trunk, little straps for whatever. And then a little compartment, and here's a door, little cubby down there. Nice, not bad. That is the ski sack. So what that is that's the center part of the rear seat, and you could put your skis in it and extend them all the way from the trunk into the passenger compartment. So if you don't want to use a roof rack, you used the ski sack. So yeah, and this is actually, this is around, when did Audi go to this? They didn't used to have the 4 rings on the trunk, so that started, I want to say 91, 92, with the 100. So you used to just say Audi here, and then Quattro here, if it was a Quattro, and yeah, the rings were new for the early 90s. So this one was originally sold, or at some point sold, in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is where we are nearby, at European Motor Cars, which still exists, not as European Motor Cars, but the dealership's still there, and so is Audi, Porsche, and Volkswagen. So let's take a look at the inside, because Audis have long been known for their pretty nice, teutonically luxurious interiors. And yeah, that's not bad for a 30-year-old vehicle. Look at that. You have this is nicely padded. This is slightly padded up here. You have a nice wood trim. Everything's electric, very nice. These are traditional older Audi units, but it's interesting because they're still very similar to the Volkswagen ones, right? The ribbed ones, like in the VW Beetle. But these work better than those. Well, actually, I'm sorry, those work just fine. So these work just as well as those. What works better is these flush door handles actually work well. Audi had a reputation for their the trigger grip ones had they'd always break, but these worked fine. So nice carpeting under here, big bin, very nice. These are lovely seats. These, I believe, are made by Recaro, so you have some deep bolstering, very heavy, thick leather, which holds up extremely well. It's very rare to see one of these with a damaged bolster. This is interesting. I believe these power seat controls are bought in from General Motors. They're extremely similar to theirs, and in the slightly older models, I believe the buttons are even exactly the same. So these are a little upgraded, but I believe that's a General Motors unit. I could be wrong, but there's some history there. That's interesting. So let's take a look here. Look at this. 2 vents for the driver on the left side. Very nice. Maybe one for the face and one for the side, or who knows. Big steering wheel, airbag in the middle. Pretty good instrumentation, very easy and legible. Check this out, only 120,626 miles on this one, unless it's broken, which does happen. But yeah, that's not a lot of miles for these. These things will last for quite a long time. Usually I see them with at least 200,000 miles on them. They're not always cheap to maintain, keep on the road, but they will stay on the road. So what else do we have? Here we have, well, this is the quattro. So back in the day, you could only get quattro with a 5-speed manual. You could not get it with an automatic. That changed around this time, actually. This is the automatic climate control, which is also, I believe at one point was related to the GM stuff. Then you had a bank of buttons here. You have the heated seats, which go from 0 all the way up to 6. Defroster, hazard lights. There's a couple other buttons here. Interestingly, sometimes in, I'm not sure about this year, no, not 94, but I think 92 and 93, there was still an ABS off button. You could turn the anti-lock brake system off, which is interesting. Audi had a philosophy that, or, you know, they figured it out, that on some surfaces, you're actually better off not having ABS, such as when you're driving in deep snow or on gravel. If you lock up the wheels, it'll build up a wedge in front of the wheel, which will make it stop, well, makes the car stop quicker. That's just a button blank. Ashtray with wood, very nice. Yeah, nice 5-speed. Here you have 3 vents in the middle, cool. So driver, you could have 5 going towards you, and then the passenger side has another couple. This is interesting. This is a rear differential lock. So you could push this button and up to, I believe it was 15 miles an hour, you could lock the rear differential across the axle. So that was handy if you got slightly stuck or need a little more traction, and it would disengage by itself. Or you could hit it again, it would disengage. Little armrest. It's back when they didn't have giant middle armrest consoles. Handbrakes right there. 2 cup holders, very nice. Audi did not always do cup holders. And this is one of the infinitely adjustable seat backs here. I wonder if that one's, no, see, this is a power seat, fully power adjustable, and this one's a manual seat over there. Audi did that to save some money, so whatever. That's kind of gone by the wayside now, but you know, this was a very nice backrest because you could just dial it to exactly where you wanted it. So yeah, let's see what else. And down here, you got a nice little dead pedal. Got the obviously 3 pedals. The pedal rubbers say Audi on it. Very nice. It's good. This is, I mean, this is super high quality, nicely finished dashboard here, or well, interior, I guess. Got the headlight switch there, which is interesting. That's there because in the bigger cars, there's actually a knob over here. This is the cruise control, well, signals, cruise control, and high beam and low beam. And then wipers are on this side. Yeah, so check out the headliner too. Really nice soft velour headliner with the sunroof. It's in great shape. Everybody gets their own little handle. Lovely. Let's take a look at the back seat, which unfortunately the back cushion is gone. But yeah, see, seats fold down here. This one's in the way, so I can't get it back up. But here's the, oh, this one folds down too, obviously. There's the ski sack again, and let's see how this works. There we go. From here, there you go. Ski sack unfurls, or actually it furls into that way. Or is it that way? No, yeah, you start in the trunk and you come out towards the front of the car. So it's a cool, very cool feature. Back here, nets, very nice. Tweeters, power windows. Everything's good. More speakers there. Doesn't suck. When was this built? Let's take a look. Here we go. This was made in the Federal Republic of Germany. There's the VIN. And it was built, manufactured February 02/94. So February of 1994 is how old this car is, which right now it's actually February of 2024. So this is 30 years old. Happy birthday, buddy. Very nice. So love it. Let's take a look. Let's see if there's anything different on this side. So it shouldn't be different, but maybe we can get a better view. Decent amount of legroom. I mean, this seat's all the way forward, that seat's all the way back. So, but it's comfortable. Good headroom because the, you know, the rear roof line doesn't slope very much. And like we said, really nice black leather. I mean, this is a very luxurious car in its day. And obviously competed against the, well, BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, stuff like that. So passenger airbag behind the wood panel, big glove box, very nice, super solid. Yeah, really, really nicely done. There's the wood trim with a crack that went around the radio. There we go, and put the car back together here in the junkyard. So yeah, like I said, like you guys all know, I just enjoy looking at the cars and making videos for you guys to enjoy. I don't actually sell any parts, but this thing is in northern Colorado at Anderson's Sales and Salvage in Greeley. If you want parts, call them. Well, don't call them. You gotta come by and get them yourself. But February 2024, this car will probably be here for another month or so. Anyway, thank you very much. If you liked what you saw, please do subscribe and like. And we'll keep making these things. Thank you. Bye-bye.